Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. We'll chant Om once together. Synchronize the chanting of Om with your exhalation. Breathe in. Sahana vavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Gently open your eyes. We'll chant from verses 6 to 10 of chapter 3. Karmendriyani sanyamya,
Karmendriyani sanyamya,
ya aste manasa smaran,
ya aste manasa smaran,
indriyartan vimudhatma,
indriyartan vimudhatma,
mithyachara sa uchyate,
mithyachara sa uchyate,
yastvindriyani manasa,
yastvindriyani manasa,
niyamyarabhaterjuna,
niyamyarabhaterjuna,
karmendriyai karmayogam,
Karmendriyai karmayogam,
asakta savishishyate,
asakta savishishyate,
niyatam kuru karmatvam,
niyatam kuru karmatvam,
karmajyayo hyakarmanaha,
karmajayo hyakarmanaha,
sharirayatra pichate,
sharirayatra pichate,
na prasidhyeda karmanaha,
na prasidhyeda karmanaha,
yajñarthat karmanonyatra,
यज्ञार्थात् कर्मणोऽन्यत्र
लोकोऽयं कर्म बन्धनः,
लोकोऽयं कर्म बन्धनः,
तदर्थं कर्म कौन्तेय,
तदर्थं कर्म कौन्तेय,
मुक्तसङ्गः समाचर,
मुक्तसङ्गः समाचर,
सह यज्ञाः प्रजा सृष्ट्वा,
सह यज्ञा प्रजा सृष्ट्वा,
पुरोवाच प्रजापतिः,
पुरोवाच प्रजापतिः,
अनेन प्रसविष्यद्वम्,
अनेन प्रसविष्यध्वम्
येषवोस्त्विष्टकामधुक्
येषवोऽस्त्विष्टकामधुक्
Hari Om, and a very good day to all of you. So in the previous session, we were seeing what is this karma bandhana, the bondage of karma. So we were seeing it from the point of view of action and consequence, cause and effect. Every cause has an effect, and every effect has a cause. This is the law of cause and effect. The law of karma is based on this law of cause and effect only. Now, understanding the law of cause and effect will help you to understand your life better. Because you will have a lot of questions in your mind when you observe what is happening in your life and also in the life of others. Many questions can come up. Like when a particular suffering comes, let us say an experience of suffering comes to you, immediately this question comes, what have I done? Why do I need to go through this suffering? This is a very common question which every sadhak asks. It is only by gaining this wisdom of law of cause and effect that you can understand life in its totality. Now, what is interesting is, he is talking about karma bandhana separately, and he is also talking about how to get out of this problem, that is given separately. That is yajñārtat karmanah, those actions which are done for the sake of yajna, sacrifice. We will be seeing that in detail. But since we are using the yogic approach and going very deep into every principle, we are not going to wait till this entire thing of karma bandhana is finished and then go for then go to that portion where the solution is. As we are seeing different dimensions of karma bandhana in a deep way, simultaneously I will also be giving you the corresponding solutions also, so that it will become easy for you to understand the principle of yajna, which is the solution which he gives. You will be able to easily relate it to the problem, and you will see, you will be able to understand how it exactly solves the issue. This is one approach, or rather one aspect of this yogic approach. That is, as we go along, as we go deep into the problem, simultaneously we also see what the corresponding solutions are. That is very important. Otherwise, for a long period of time, if you're going deeper and deeper and understanding what the problem is, and you have to wait for quite a few weeks before we get into the solution, then the mind can actually get disturbed. We did the same thing when it came to chapter 1 also. Chapter 1 is the yoga of Arjuna's despondency, Arjuna Vishada Yoga, where Arjuna was unable to face the situation in front of him, the challenge, and he succumbs to his own emotional pressure, and he loses his capacity to act. He says, I'm not even able to hold the bow in my hands. My mind is whirling. My palms are trembling. That's what he says. And he gives various reasons as to why he should not fight this battle, this righteous war, without understanding the concept of what his duty is, why they got into the war in the first place. So everything got clouded. And he kept on talking based on that negative emotion which was building up within him. So verse after verse, Vyasa had so beautifully built it. So when we used the yogic approach there, simultaneously we were also seeing what is the corresponding solution to it. That was also indicated. Otherwise, you will have to wait for one full chapter to finish just being exposed to Arjuna's sorrow. Now, if you're not careful, that can completely unsettle the mind. So, a guru always observes the student, and he keeps on compensating. This is very, very important when you want to handle your mind. You can also use that technique to handle your own mind. That is, when an issue surfaces, a lot of negative energy is felt, you should compensate it by focusing on the positives also simultaneously as you are trying to resolve this. Then you will be able to resolve the issue very fast. So, the first dimension which we were seeing of karma bandhanaha from the viewpoint of karma was that karma means action. Karma also means the consequence of action. So what is this action and consequence? Every action has its consequence. So this is based on the law of cause and effect. Every cause has an effect, and every effect has a cause. That is why physicists, they say that energy can neither be created nor destroyed. Why? Because the cause becomes the effect, and the effect becomes a cause. The effect was the cause at one point of time. Now, every action which you do, whether it is physical action or whether it is action in the form of speech, that is karma in the form of speech, or whether it is an emotion which you generate or a thought which you generate, whatever it is that you are doing. So karma is not restricted merely to physical action. Any kind of movement, any kind of activity which happens within you, which emanates from you, now that will have a consequence in life. That becomes the cause. So as I told you, every cause has to have an effect. Now, practically in life, when you see negative effects, you may not be aware of the causes. It may not be one cause. Sometimes several causes, several actions put together, several karmas put together can create one effect. That is also possible. So when you don't know what the causes are, then that is where the confusion comes. So many people say life is very unfair. That's because they don't know what has caused that particular issue which they are facing. So what do we mean by every if cause has an effect and every effect has a cause? That we will see a little bit, because a sadhak has asked a beautiful question. What he has asked is, he says that he has been reading in some books right from young age, and he has also heard this from several people, that your present birth is a product of your past birth's karmas. So what he says is that whatever he has heard is that whatever karmas you did in the past birth is now determining what is happening to you in the present birth. You are living out the effects of the past birth. So then his question is, where is the question of changing the future? This seems like a deterministic principle. Whatever you did in the past, now you're facing the consequences now. You will have to face the consequences. So it almost looks like you can't do anything about it, at least in this birth. That is what he has been told. Now, in the previous session, it was mentioned, not only in the previous session, in many sessions it has been mentioned, that you are the architect or creator of your destiny, and you can create a future according to what you want. So he wants to understand this more deeply. What exactly do we mean by this law of karma? So I will explain a little bit about that. There are so many aspects to it, but I will explain a few points and then we will move on. Anyway, this principle is going to keep coming again and again throughout the Bhagavad Gita, especially in this chapter, Karma Yoga, also in the other chapters. So we will be covering all these things in detail. Now, there are two forces acting within you. One is the force of destiny. That is called prarabdha in Sanskritam language. Prarabdha means that which has already happened. That is the effect of what has already happened. That is destiny. The second force which is acting in your life is what the yogis call as purushartha. Purushartha means self-effort. Now there is an eternal debate among thinkers. Is destiny ruling us? Is the force of destiny ruling us? Or is the force of self-effort ruling us? So some people say there is nothing like self-effort. It's all just destiny. Some people say no, there is nothing called destiny. It's only your efforts. Now, what the yogis say, the ancient wisdom, that's what we call as the ancient wisdom. Ancient wisdom means that which doesn't change according to time. These eternal principles remain the same. So what the ancient wisdom says is that in life, both these aspects are functioning for you. Before that, first of all, when we talk of destiny, what you need to understand is that your destiny is not determined by somebody else. Generally, we think some God is sitting above in the heavens and deciding what should happen in your life. There is no God sitting and deciding your destiny. Your destiny, which is what is called as karma. See, the whole confusion here is, this one word karma means everything, starting from the cause to the effect. So people get confused. Your present destiny is determined by your past efforts. So when we talk of destiny and self-effort, prarabdha and purushartha, we are talking of the effects created by your own karmas only, your own actions only. So your past self-efforts have created your present destiny, prarabdha. Past means it is not restricted to the past birth alone. I did mention it last week. Past means this moment backwards. It is inclusive of all the past births also. But not only that, whatever you have been doing, whatever you have been speaking, whatever you have been feeling and thinking, even in this birth, till this moment, all that put together creates your present destiny. Number one. So, is there a force of destiny in your life? Yes. Who created it? You only created it. Now, just as this destiny, the present destiny has been created by the past self-efforts, that a power to choose or to power to apply yourself, which is what we call as self-effort, independent of your destiny, that is there, that is running even in the present also. So right now in life, the force of destiny is coming from your past, and you also have the power of self-effort right now. You can act, you can modify your destiny. So supposing, let us say, your destiny is flowing at a particular force, X. Now you apply yourself through the self-effort and you try to change your destiny. Now you may not find any tangible change immediately, because the force of the destiny coming from the past has to be neutralized. But if you keep on applying the right self-effort in the present and you give it a reasonable amount of time, the entire force of destiny can be neutralized and you can create a wonderful future for yourself. So what is future? Future is nothing but the destiny which you create by applying the power of self-effort in the present. So that is why we say the future is nothing but the force of the past modified in the present. If there is no self-effort right now, then no change will be possible. But that is not how life works. We find a very negative person through efforts becoming very positive, or vice versa also. A highway robber became the great saint, sage Valmiki. Enough examples are there in the Puranas. You don't even need to go to the Puranas. You just look around in life. We see a lot of people changing. So if there is absolutely no self-effort, then the destiny will just simply take you in one direction. A good person will continue to remain good. A bad person will continue to remain bad. Because that is the force of destiny, no? So that principle which people are giving you, saying that there is nothing called self-effort, it's all predestined, it does not really stand the test of reason. There is no meaning in that. That's a very pessimistic philosophy which doesn't help you in any way. Similarly, some people say there is nothing called destiny, it's only self-effort. That is also wrong, because if there is nothing coming from the past, then you will be a very sporadic personality. There will be no continuity in your behavior. See, today you're sleeping, let's say you're a musician, you go to sleep. Next day morning you wake up as a musician only. Today you sleep as a musician, next day morning you wake up, now you become a mathematics professor. Then again you go to sleep, next day you wake up, now you become a historian. It never happens like that. There is a continuity. That continuity is coming from the force of the past. So that is why these great yogis, they looked at life in a very deep way. This is, as I told you, that is a yogic approach. And they discovered this higher principle of life, which is the law of karma. Every cause has an effect, and every effect has a cause. So both these forces run parallelly in your life right now. On one hand, you're carrying the force of the past is running. You're carrying the weight of your past. On the other hand, there is this force of self-effort also there. You have the power to choose, the choice of action. As a human being, you have that power. The power to choose without being influenced by the force of your destiny. But just because you have made one choice, it doesn't mean your entire destiny will be wiped out. That's why you will have to give it some time. You will have to consistently apply yourself. I'll give you a very simple example. Let's say you have the habit of sleeping late and waking up late in the morning. Now, for many years, you've been following this schedule where you sleep late and wake up late. Now, so you have created a force from the past. That is your destiny. But today, you have the power to choose to sleep early and wake up early. Now, let us say you want to build that habit. So, what should you do? Should you keep saying, oh, I'm unable to do it? If you look at only the force of destiny, you will become very helpless. You will say, I'm unable to change. But if you now look at the power of choice which you have, the purushartha, the self-effort which you have, and you choose, okay, from today onwards, I'll sleep early, I'll wake up early tomorrow morning. That is the choice which you're making. You're applying the self-effort. But just because you have chosen, made the choice today, doesn't mean from that moment now that habit will change. You may choose getting up early, still you may end up waking late. Now you may wonder, what is the use? I put the effort, still I am I'm waking up late, you should understand that the force of the past which you have created is quite strong. So one self-effort is not enough to neutralize that. So every day when you consistently keep choosing whatever you want to create and you keep applying the self-effort over a period of time, the force of the past, of the destiny, prarabdha, will be completely neutralized and you will build a new habit. It means through your karmas, now you have changed the destiny. So the yogis call self-effort also as karma. They call prarabdha also as karma only. That is, destiny is also karma. The effect, the destiny means effect, no? The cause, that is also karma. So when he talks about karma bandhanaha, when you look at karma from the viewpoint of destiny, then that binds you. Because whatever you have done in the past, now that is creating an effect right now, which is what you're facing in life. So you are bound by your past. Karma bandhanaha. Bandhanaha means bondage. This is only one half of the truth. So as I told you, we are not waiting till we go to that portion of yajna. Right from here itself, the solutions are also indicated so that you can start practicing these principles in your life. So when you look at your past and your present, it is a life of bondage because your past has created your present. This is the law of destiny. The prarabdha niyati, the law of destiny. But if you look at your life from the viewpoint of purushartha, which is self-effort, purushartha niyati means the law of self-effort, then that is where the solution comes. Because if you have created your present through your past actions, now you can change, you can modify the present and create a future destiny for yourself. So when you look at it from the point of view of purushartha, then that type of karma is no longer binding. It liberates you. So in one line of this verse, he talks about karma bandhanaha, those karmas which bind you, and he also talks of that karma which can liberate you, yajna. So when we come there, we'll see yajna is one type of karma which you choose. It is based on the law of self-effort, the principle of self-effort, purushartha niyati. So once you understand this, there is no confusion at all. So as a direct answer to that sadhak who has asked this question about the past birth determining your present birth and you're helpless, this is the answer. Kindly come out of such limited concepts. See, people just pick up something from some source, various sources, and then they condition their minds. See, once you load your mind with these kinds of preconceived notions, then you'll become very, very helpless in your life. So this ancient wisdom is not there to say that you are bound by your actions. See, Krishna, if you are bound by your karma, then why should Krishna talk to Arjuna? Why should he give the entire Bhagavad Gita? This is Arjuna's karma. He is crying, he wants to leave. So Krishna can just leave it. No, that can be changed. That possibility is there, that power is there. Since it can be changed, all these yogis are saying you should put in the right effort. When you do sadhana, your whole life will change. We say no, the Yoga Sankirtan sadhana is the highest sadhana, and that has been given to you in an easy way. Now, if you start practicing that on a daily basis, now that can completely neutralize all your past. So the confusion has come because of this word karma, which means the cause on one hand and the effect on other hand, and everything in between also. So people who saw only the cause, now they interpreted it one way. People who saw only the effect, they interpreted it another way. But in the yogic approach, we don't get conditioned by one aspect alone. We see the whole principle, the principle in its entirety. You must have read, when in your school days, the poem, The Blind Men and the Elephant. It is a very famous poem which we have read in school. So different people, they went and they didn't have eyesight, and they tried to understand the elephant. So they just felt. So one person touched the tail and described the elephant in a particular way. Another person touched the trunk and described the elephant in a totally different way. Third person touched the tusk and described the elephant in another way. So what the poet says in the end is very interesting. Even though all of them were right, they were all wrong, he says. Beautiful principle. So they were right in a limited way, but when you take the totality, when you look at the whole thing from the totality point of view, they were all wrong. So similarly, some people say life is just destiny. Some people say all this is the law of karma and all is meaningless. Just put an effort. That is also a part of law of karma only. So each one is just groping one part of life and giving his or her own philosophy. But in the yogic approach, we don't do that. We go into the depth and see life from a totality point of view. Then you get the complete picture. So you are bound by your karma bandhana. When here karma means your past actions. Whatever you have done in the past is binding you today. But then, what is the solution? The solution lies in the other aspect of karma, which is purushartha, self-effort. So if you apply that principle, then you can slowly come out of this bondage. Whatever you're facing in life is prarabdha, destiny. What you're facing in life is destiny. How you face it, that is purushartha, self-effort. So when your focus is on what you're facing, then you will be caught up with karma. The karma bandhana will happen. If your focus is on how to face this, then you will start liberating yourself. The ultimate goal of your human birth is to attain moksha. Moksha means liberation, complete freedom. Nirvana means total freedom, total liberation. Liberation from the finite, from the bondage which the finite creates, and becoming one with the infinite. So from where does this liberation start? When you start focusing on what you need to do right now, the power of choice, the power of self-effort in the present. Now, why does he say this world is bound by the karma? Karma bandhana is present everywhere. Why? Because very few people apply this self-effort properly in life. See, even when you don't use this power of choice, that is also a karma only. That will have its consequences. You will become a victim of the past. You will start feeling helpless in life. Everything has its consequence. Once you have done something, then you are bound by the consequence. But that doesn't mean there is no way out of this. Exactly how you created something, you can remove that and recreate whatever you want. So if you look at life from the standpoint of the law of karma, now you become a very, very powerful person. A simple thing like health, we have done that empowerment course, no? Kaya Tattva. Now that is a wisdom of the body, how to create health. We went up to the intracellular and even up to the subatomic level and infused that positive energy there. That is the fresh karma which is being done. So whenever you do that Kaya Tattva sadhana, those meditations, now you are actually recreating. You are neutralizing your past and you are recreating whatever you want. That is here in that context, with respect to the body, you are trying to restore the health. You have only created everything which is happening to you in your life, and you have the power to change all that. Now, if you want to become a powerful sadhak and a powerful yogi, then you should stop focusing on the destiny part and you should start focusing on the self-effort part. Consider the force of destiny also, so that you don't become result oriented. I should do something and I want the results immediately. That tendency will make you impatient. In order to remove that impatience, it is good to understand the force of destiny. And also basically understand from where you're coming. But otherwise, what is very important is, right now, how are you going to face your life? So whatever you're facing, what you're facing is destiny. How you are facing it is self-effort. Both are two aspects of karma only. So one binds you, the other liberates you. So this world is bound by action. Karma bandhana. So as we are understanding what this karma bandhana is, a glimpse is being given as to how to get out of this bondage. So we just now had the 22-day empowerment course on finding rhythm in life. Now, just last December only we had, right? In that, the 12 aspects of life were explained to you. Each day, one aspect was taken up. Very many empowerments were given. And you were asked to write down your goals in each of these aspects. Why? Because when you put in that effort, this is what I want in this aspect, this is what I want in this aspect, this is what I want to achieve with respect to my career, this is what I want to achieve with respect to my health, like this, wealth, so many aspects we saw. So all that, when you start first writing your goals, then that is the first step in creating your destiny. If you don't have any goal, then you will only be influenced by the force of your past. You can never be a creator. So once you become clear about what you want, and when you keep doing the sadhana, the higher energy will flow. It will remove all the blocks. From where are the blocks coming? It is coming from the force of the past. That is what we saw now. And as those blocks are neutralized, you will find that your goals will start getting materialized. This is the simple principle with which this entire sadhana is based. So anyone who does not want to put in self-effort, who is not willing to change, now that person cannot be a sadhak. A master will not waste his time with such a person, because that person is being tamasic. See, a master will focus all his energies on those people who want to change for the better, who want to become creators. So such people are highly pessimistic people who don't want to change, and they will focus on these kinds of phrases. Karma bandhanaha, what to do, I am bound. Supposing, let's say, a person is addicted to drinking or smoking. Now immediately he will, and he is tamasic, he doesn't want to get out of that. Immediately he will use this principle, karma bandhanaha, what to do. This is all the bondage of karma which has created this. So they will try to pick up those aspects of this philosophy just to suit their, just to justify their tamas. So never ever fall a prey to pessimism in life. This wisdom is not a deterministic philosophy. It is a very dynamic, live philosophy. It brings out the best from within you. It helps you to create a powerful life for yourself and for the sake of others. That's what we'll be seeing in Yajna. See, the principle of Yajna is so powerful. It starts from where you are and goes right up to the highest level. When I was explaining the principle of Ayam Lokaha, I touched upon it a little bit. First you take care of yourself, then your immediate family, the people whom you're interacting with. Then it can go right up to Loka Sangraha, which is the benefit of the entire universe. Everything is Yajna only, provided you understand it in the right way. So, karma bandhanaha, looks pessimistic if you look at it from a narrow standpoint. But if you use the yogic approach and get the total picture, you will understand that it is a very, very powerful principle which he is giving. So all the time in life, you are only creating your destiny in the form of actions, speech, emotions, thoughts. You're constantly creating. You're not aware of that. When you gain this wisdom, now you become aware of this power which you're having. You're literally like a machine, which is constantly creating. The causes, the ingredients are actions, speech, emotions, and thoughts. And those emotions, thoughts, everything which you are generating, they create a particular energy field within you. And that energy field attracts positive things or negative things in your life based on the quality. If the energy field is negative, then it attracts negativity. When the energy field is positive, it attracts a lot of positive things. So the ultimate power lies with you only. So when you don't understand this, you blame others for what is happening in your life. You blame circumstances. Some people, they blame God. Now you always find something outside you to blame, but these approaches will not really help you. It is understanding in depth what this law of karma is and applying these right principles which will help you. So I'm sure the sadhak who asked that question, his question has been answered. I've given some very key points about the law of karma. You think about that and you can always come back if you have further clarifications, because this is the crux of the entire karma yoga. If you don't understand the law of karma in your life, that is how it is functioning in your life, you cannot understand life. You cannot understand what is happening to you. And when you cannot understand that, how is it possible for you to transform your life? So, karma bandhanaha. Karma means the cause, karma means the effect. Once you act, then you are bound by your consequence. But it is using the same principle that you can come out of this bondage. So if you can imagine karma in the form of destiny as a rope. Now let us say you're tying yourself with a rope. You go on, you take the rope and you go on, putting the rope around yourself. Now after a while, all your freedom is restricted. You're unable to move. Now, if you have the capacity to create this, now what is the freedom? I mean, how you're bound. Now how to become free? Now you will have to reverse the process. That is also another karma only, which is what he calls as yajna. Yajna is a process of rewinding, neutralizing whatever you have created in the past. See, right now I am only explaining yajna from the viewpoint of karma bandhana, just the opposites. But actually when we come to the principle of yajna, we'll be going into more depth. So this is the first dimension of karma bandhana. We will also see a few more dimensions, one or two more, which will be very, very useful to you. Now, when we talk of karma, it is commonly translated as action. Now, every action of yours, or it's not only action which is happening from within, but even the external actions done by others also, I'm saying. Now, every incident in life, whether you are acting or whether the other person is doing something, now that has or that sets off a particular reaction in your mind. Whenever you're facing various situations in life, your mind is continuously reacting. Now, in the previous dimension of karma, what did we see? You are acting and there is a consequence. Now, wherever there is action, this is this dimension, wherever there is an action, it sets a reaction in your mind internally. So, there is an external aspect which is also karma, what is happening, the incident. And there is an internal mental reaction that is also called karma. I want you to focus on this and absorb this point, this principle, because it's a very, very subtle and powerful principle. So on one hand, there are various things happening outside you. On the other hand, your mind is continuously reacting to these various incidents which are happening. Both are karmas only. Now, what do we mean by reaction? Internal reaction. Your internal reaction means a lot of emotion is generated whenever you face a situation. And that emotion can be positive or negative. An emotion is nothing but a flow of thoughts. So you generate one thought and then you generate a flow of thoughts which becomes an emotion. All these put together is what philosophically or in the yogic parlance we call as a mental reaction. This happens at the conscious level. That is, your conscious mind is constantly reacting to every situation in life. Now, most people, they go on reacting and they don't know what the consequence of that is. So, what is the consequences of these mental reactions? We can, we need to probe into that. What these great yogis say is, whenever you react to some situation very strongly, emotionally, now that creates an impression in the deeper layers of the mind. The reaction is at the outermost layer of the mind, which is what we call as the conscious mind. But the impressions which are formed are in the inner layers of the mind. We call those layers, according to the degree of the subtlety, we call those layers as subconscious mind. Then there are many other, there is a cosmic conscious mind. So many things are there, so many layers of your mind. So we can call everything put together as the deeper layers of your mind. So first it starts off with an incident which happens outside. Now you react to it. The mental reaction is there. Now this mental reaction creates an impression in the deeper layers of your mind. Now those impressions are also called as karmas only. In the yogic language, they are called as psychic impressions. Means impressions formed in the deeper layers of the mind. Whatever is stored in the deeper layers of your mind is not known to you. Those impressions are not known to you. What is known to you is only what is happening at the conscious level of your mind. Now, the most interesting part is what the yogis are saying is that the conscious mind is only 3 to 4%. A rough calculation they have made. 3 to 4% of your total mind. 96 to 97% of your mind is the deeper layers, starting from the subconscious mind to all the deep layers of your mind. So what you know, what you are aware of is only 3 to 4% of your mind. That is what you're using today. Now, a yogi, through sadhana, he gains access to the remaining 96 or 97% of his mind. Now, when you start purifying the entire mind, that is the deeper layers of the mind, and when you learn how to use that, how to master that, then you become very, very powerful. All the hidden powers from within you start manifesting. Actually, you have infinite powers. But they are all lying dormant. Why? Because you are operating only at the surface level, the conscious level. You know, we are going to have the Yoga Sankirtan empowerment for this year on the 25th of March, the 5-day course. Now the theme of that course is unfold the inner powers, your inner powers, the powers which are lying dormant from within. So a tremendous healing and empowerment is going to be given during those 5 days to recondition the deeper layers of your mind, deeper layers of your entire personality actually. So when you are loaded with a lot of negative impressions in the deeper layers of your mind, now those negative impressions will make you think in a negative way, will make you generate further negative emotions. And those emotions will spoil your health. Those negative emotions will create a lot of diseases in the body. Not only will it create a lot of diseases in the body, it will also create a lot of problems outside that will start attracting negative incidents into your life. So, karma bandhanaha means when those impressions which are also called karmas, they actually determine your thoughts, your emotions, your speech and your actions. And they determine the outcomes, the various outcomes which you face in life. So when you're loaded with those karmas, that is those impressions, psychic impressions, then you are bound by them. That is what he means by karma bandhanaha. Very, very interesting. So even as this wisdom is being given to you, the intellectual part of this wisdom is directed towards your conscious mind. But in the background, a lot of healing energy is also being provided. That energy is being directed to your karmas at the deeper level, in the deeper layers of your mind. In the empowerment sessions, when the empowerment meditation is done, now 100% the energy is being transferred to the deeper layers of your mind. That is why you find when you attend an empowerment session, your entire personality is uplifted. Even when we had the Om Saravana Bhava Dhyanam, that was not an empowerment session, it was only a healing session. But even in that, everybody who attended that felt, a sense of peace. They had such deep experiences which could not be expressed in words. Why? Because the energy started flowing into the deeper layers of your personality. So meditation is nothing but exploring the deeper layers of the mind and going right up to the infinite silence which is there within you. Because behind the deeper layers of the mind, what is there is your essential self, the higher self, which is a state of total silence. When you are loaded with a lot of psychic impressions, karmas, now it is not possible to penetrate and go to that silence. If you forcefully try to silence your mind without handling these impressions, now you will become highly frustrated. It will cause a lot of guilt and struggle within you. What is the work of a master? A master gives knowledge and certain external advices to the conscious mind. That is only very little. But the work which a master does in the background, now that is, it's not possible to explain that, because a lot of energy play happens. He uses the higher energy to help a student explore his or her own personality in totality, right from the depth, which alone can purify, which alone can cause 100% purification. So when you see karma from the viewpoint of action, that is external circumstances, reaction and impressions, then you are bound by your own karmas, your own impressions. Your reactions only create those impressions, and then those impressions make you react in a particular way. It's like a catch-22 situation, and you're unable to come out of that. That is why he uses the word bandhanaha. Bandhanaha means bondage. It means confinement, imprisonment. That's another meaning of bandhanaha. So what causes that bondage? It is your own impressions. All the spiritual sadhanas are aimed at wiping off these impressions, burning all these karmas. Yoga Sankirtan is the most effective way of burning all these karmas. So that is why many a times when you are doing the Yoga Sankirtan sadhana, you will find a lot of thoughts, emotions, incidents, all those will start surfacing. Now many people think that those are all unwanted thoughts, they are not allowing me to meditate. No, it is because you are meditating and you are receiving the higher energy properly that these thoughts have started coming out. So if you just continue with your sadhana over a period of time, layer by layer, all these impressions will be burnt and released. First, whatever impressions you have created in this birth, then it will go to the past births. See, you have been accumulating emotions from so many births. All those impressions are there within you, and that is what is defining you. So when you approach a master, it doesn't matter what you say verbally, because a master penetrates and sees what are the impressions which you are carrying. So externally you may say, oh, I am not stressed. But internally what is happening, that is what he will be focusing on. Externally you may bow down as if you are very humble, but the internal impressions may just be the opposite. These are all possibilities, I am saying. This doesn't mean every time a person bows down now he is opposite inside. Please don't misunderstand. So a master's focus is mainly on the impressions and how to remove those impressions. So as long as these karmas are there within you, the karma bandhanaha will happen. You are bound by those karmas. So different types of sadhanas are there. The basic karma yoga, the bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, all these are aimed towards removing these impressions only, but in a very gradual way. And then there are deeper sadhanas. Yoga Sankirtana is a very powerful sadhana. I told you, there are 12 levels. As we move up, we go to advanced empowerments. The karmic burning up will happen at a very furious pace. Straight away, if that is introduced, you will not be able to bear it. Our holy Siddhas called that principle as the principle of Prati Prasava. Prati Prasava means, Prasava means being born, birth. Prati means again, being born again. When you remove your impressions, that is a new birth for you. When you are loaded with these impressions, your mind will be stressed. As you do your sadhana, these impressions will start getting released, and you will start feeling that lightness. A yogi is one who is very light-hearted. That phrase itself is very suitable for a yogi. Light-hearted. Heart means the mind. Light means no impressions, no baggage from the past. Free. He is completely free. That is symbolized by the cheer which Krishna exhibited. Lord Krishna, who was an avatar, he was so active externally, but internally 100% light, always cheerful, an uncontrollable joy. That is what every yogi experiences within himself or herself. I want you to first conceive that. See, by studying karma bandhanaha, don't become more pessimistic. That's why in the yogic approach we are seeing the solution also. So it all starts with a conception. Yes, so much of luggage is there which I am carrying. If you can just imagine throwing away all the mental luggage, how light you will feel. If you take it to the extreme point, that is the state of sthita prajna, enlightenment. Okay, so we will stop with that today. Very powerful principles have been given to you. Now, what you can do is you reflect, find time. If required, you can listen to this again and again throughout the week, whatever portions inspire you. But you should absorb this into your system, as Shakespeare says, grapple it to your soul, he says. Beautiful line, beautiful phrase, grapple it to your soul. So the more you absorb these principles, now you will start looking at your life, you will start looking at yourself and at others in a very deep way. Looking means, I don't mean physically, viewing mentally, I mean the mental perception will become very deep. And when you absorb these principles, then you will start doing your daily sadhana in a very mature and conscious way. You will understand the purpose of that sadhana and you will do it. When you attend empowerment courses, you will attend them with a lot more maturity. So, I'm not giving you any particular homework this week, but the homework is reflecting on these principles, and automatically when you reflect more and more, you will start absorbing them into yourself. Grapple it to your soul means go as deep as possible. This is not a homework merely for this week. This is for your entire life. Actually, none of the homeworks which are being given are restricted to any time period. You keep on doing that till you reach that ultimate state of perfection. So, he is just in a very simple way saying karma bandhanaha, which is commonly translated as the bondage of action. Even here in the translation we have said is bound by action. But that translation does not do justice to the depth of this principle which he is giving. That is where the yogic approach comes. Okay, so we'll stop with this today. We'll do the Nididhyasana meditation. Sit in a comfortable position. Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. With every breath, you're becoming more and more relaxed. feel the divine vibrations. With every breath, I am going deeper and deeper into myself. I am not this body. I am not this mind. I am not this intellect. I am that supreme, infinite reality. I am the creator of my destiny. From this moment onwards, I choose to exercise the power of self-effort in a positive direction, in a positive way in my life. I am Swayam Prakashit, self-illuminating. Offer your gratitude to God Supreme. Offer your gratitude to your Guru and all the holy masters. Slowly come back. Wriggle your fingers, your toes. Rub your palms together to create a warmth. Cup your eyes with your palms. Gently rub your eyes, cheeks, forehead, top of the head, back of the head and neck. Slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. So we had a very powerful and deep session. Why I'm saying deep is because these principles will help you to understand life in a deep way. Otherwise, you will view everything in a very shallow way. So do that homework. Fortunately for you, these sessions are being kept in the YouTube. So every Sunday you're watching this. Apart from that, throughout the week also, you can listen to it in part so that the reflection process is triggered. Okay? Just one small announcement about the upcoming Yoga Sankirtan Empowerment. So as you know, the empowerment is from 25th of March, 5 days. The Om Saravana Bhava Dhyanam empowerment is going to be given for the first time. Now, every year, why we are having these Yoga Sankirtan empowerments is to give a big boost to your sadhana. A lot of cleaning up will happen at the karmic level every time you attend an empowerment program. That will help you to evolve spiritually very fast. The details of that, I think it's there in the website. So if you have any questions regarding the empowerment program, feel free to ask. The answers will be given to you. And what is important is start doing your sadhana. Be consistent with respect to your daily sadhana. Every Sunday I am preparing you for these empowerments only through the wisdom part and also through the Nididhyasana meditation part. So from your side, you need to keep doing the sadhana. So the moment you register, that moment is very sacred. Do it with a lot of bhavana. From that moment onwards, the healing energy will start flowing. So every day I'm sitting and giving special healing to prepare you to receive the higher empowerment. But you need to commit. This is from the moment you register. So make use of that preparatory healing which is being given to you and add your personal sadhana to it. It's not a substitute for your personal sadhana, okay? Remember that. Okay? So, thank you very much. I'll see you in the next session. We'll go into more depth. Hari Om.